During the original Jurassic Park dinner scene, we see this slideshow right here, where John Hammond basically tells us he's going to be opening up other parks, and in the background we see Jurassic Park Europe. Now immediately I know what you're thinking, this is set in Europe. It could look nothing like the screenshots we see from Jurassic World 4's new release, where they're clearly in a very humid environment like the original Jurassic Park, right? So when you hear the name Europe, you don't think of that. But in actual fact, John Hammond planned to build Jurassic Park Europe on the island of the Azores. And if you're familiar with this location, will be exactly like the original Jurassic Park, because it's actually slap bam in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and the southern Atlantic Ocean, basically off the coast of Africa, giving it the environment exactly like Jurassic Park. And as we know from the new Jurassic World 4 leaks, this is also going to be set on an island. Could this then mean that the new Jurassic World 4 is set on the old Jurassic Park island, where they plan to build this original Jurassic Park Europe? I mean, we already know that the dinosaurs have been living on this island for a while. They've evolved from their original counterparts to look much more different than the Jurassic Park versions we see in Jurassic World, or again, Jurassic Park, further hinting that this location could indeed be that island. Not to mention, we see all the ruins from the Jurassic World 4 screenshots, showing like the Mayan ruins we see in Jurassic Park Trespasser. Again, this type of ruin would more than likely be present on this Azores island. It's also worth pointing out that John Hammond had planned to build on this island of the Azores in the novel, film, and game canon. So every iteration of Jurassic Park, there was a planned Jurassic Park Europe. Now I'll talk more about the actual Jurassic Park Europe plan in a second. I just want to talk about this island and its makeup. It's basically an island of archipelagos composed of 9 volcanic islands in total. And again, this sounds like a fantastic setting for this new Jurassic Park movie. The more and more we talk about it, the more and more it seems to make sense, right? In terms of temperature, it's usually quite mild all year round, 16 to 25, but can easily go above 30 degrees. And here's the really interesting part. Because the Gulf Stream passes by it, you basically have a generally wet and cloudy atmosphere, exactly like the mist we see in Jurassic Park on Isla Nublar. With that out of the way, you're kind of getting a feel for what these islands would be like. And for me, it's easy to imagine any type of dinosaur living on this island. We know from the leaks that there'll be 2 T-Rexes, very much like the ones in Trespasser because of their coloration, very much like the tiger raptors. We know there'll be a group of some type of smaller carnivore. Again, this is presumed to be velociraptors. And where would have all these come from, do you reckon? Well, the original Jurassic Park and the Factory 4 on Isla Sorna, just when John Hammond was gearing up to open this second park. He obviously planned for Jurassic Park to be a huge success. Again, you can see all his storyboards, his graphs in the dining room scene, and he planned for everything to open, and then 6 to 12 months later, all the other attractions would come online. At this point, it's highly likely construction of Jurassic Park Europe had already began, or at least he would have leased the land in anticipation. Now, does this mean we're going to see any type of InGen facility? Is unknown at this stage, because all we've really seen from the screenshot leaks are these like Mayan ruins, again, which is what's exactly like in Trespasser. It seems that they're heavily relying on the Trespasser source material, because in Trespasser there's obviously Mayan ruins on Isla Sorna, believe it or not. This begs the question, how did the dinosaurs originally get on this island in the first place? I mean, it's literally slap bam in the middle of nowhere. They're not going to have swam over from Isla Nublar or any mainline facility. They would have to have been brought over there for a specific reason. And not to mention, they're supposedly not meant to look like any of the other dinosaurs we've seen in Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. More akin to Peter Jackson's 2005 movie. I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below. If the dinosaurs were not brought over to that island by InGen, then the only storyline they could be going on is a prehistoric one. Again, very much like King Kong and Skull Island. But that doesn't really sit right for Jurassic Park, because Jurassic Park is all about genetic cloning, mutations, and the fact that the dinosaurs were never really dinosaurs. They were more akin to monsters. They were man-made. Whereas if they find these dinosaurs in the wild, it kind of will be like a King Kong Skull Island type movie to me. And I don't think that's going to be the case. There has to be an element here of man-made dinosaurs. So for whatever reason, these dinosaurs are on the island, and to fit with Jurassic Park, it has to be that they were man-made. Now, whether or not it's going to be InGen on this island, or whether it's another entity entirely, such as Biocene? It's not known at this stage. And here's where things start to get really interesting, because obviously we have Jurassic World Chaos Theory. Now, there was a metal toy leak for Season 2, and the Season 2 toy basically said that they were heading to West Africa. Now, the Azores Islands are also basically off the coast of West Africa. Is that a coincidence there? Hard to say at this stage, but they're definitely on the coast of West Africa, which is the nearest location to these islands. I just wanted to point that out before someone in the comments also references it. Either way you look at it, there's definitely scope to bring in this Jurassic Park Europe. Whether it's in the new movie, whether it's in Chaos Theory, there is definitely scope for it to be there. I mean, we already know this ship at the end of Chaos Theory is heading in the direction of West Africa. Who's to say they don't inadvertently stumble across this island as well? And if you remember rightly, that's exactly what they did in Camp Cretaceous Season 4. They basically stumbled across the Manticorp Island. And again, I'd like to point out before we go any further, Camp Cretaceous and Jurassic World Chaos Theory are canon to the Jurassic Park franchise. But the huge giveaway for me here is the fact that these dinosaurs seem to have evolved, look a lot different to anything like we've seen in Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, and the synopsis was that they've kind of evolved and have been left to their own devices. So that would indicate that this new Jurassic World movie will be set several years after the events of Jurassic Park, meaning these dinosaurs would have been left to their own devices on an island. There's no way it'd be on a mainland because they'd interact with people. And the screenshots of these ruins kind of prove that no human civilization has been around for a long time, or any form of advanced civilization anyway. Again, you could very much have tribes like in the Peter Jackson movies, King Kong, Skull Island, etc. But the fact that there was a Jurassic Park Europe planned has gone completely under the radar, and no one's even mentioned the fact of its location is very much perfect location for this new movie. I think it's because the Europe is in the title. People think Europe, they think cold weather, snow, whereas they forget that Portugal, the southern parts of Spain are extremely hot and would be perfect location off the shore for these animals. But to me, there is a huge problem with this. Are these dinosaurs going to be man-made, or are they going to be very much, like I said, indigenous, forgotten in time? And that's the one thing which scares me. But what about you? I'd love to know your thoughts on this in the comments below, because to me it lines up perfectly. Whether or not that transpires is another thing, but if I was writing this Jurassic Park movie, it would make sense to use this island rather than some random one in Thailand or somewhere else. With that being said, I highly recommend checking out all the other videos on the channel, such as what was in the restricted section, the Pitchback Lagoon in the original Jurassic Park, and what really happened to Jurassic Park's monster croc. All that is on the channel. I'd like to thank my YouTube members for keeping the power on in the park. Couldn't do this without you guys, thank you very much. And a special mention to DVM Wannabe 1018. I'm Shadows, and I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers now, bye bye.